guys, welcome to another episode of F1 2021 here in the ChesnoidPlays channel. Thank you for your patience over the last few days in between streams and videos. Obviously, I had some family plans, I had some social plans, went to a gig in London, and as well as making sure they get all of the brand new FIFA 22 career mode stuff out on the main channel as well. So streams are back, as such second channel videos are back as well. We are in France today, hoping to have a decent Grand Prix. Of course, last time out, we won in Canada. We pulled it through and we were able to win the race. So we're up to 6th in the driver's standings. In the constructors' standings, we are now first by 2 points from McLaren, 7 points from Ferrari, and 11 points from Mercedes. That is going to go all the way this year. And hoping to build on the Canadian victory. Not probable, seeing as France is not a strong track for me, but hopeful. We shall have to wait and see. But we are now fully upgraded on aero, chassis, and powertrain. Now that the powertrain exhaust and others are through. So we are as good as we're going to get, car-wise. So hopefully, I can start to put the performances in on track. You can see by the weather, or at least the little symbols, there is to be mixed conditions in quali in the race, but I have no weather update email, so we won't find out until we get to practice. So, join me there in a moment. Drop the video a like if you're enjoying this series. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, of course, so you don't miss out on any more. Link in the description to the Twitch channel where you can come across and watch these live. Only about a month or so to go until Football Manager returns on the Twitch stream and on the YouTube channel as well. But for now, we're going to finish at least this third season in my team and hopefully do so with great success. To France we go. So in quali, it's going to be dry in Q1 all the way through. Q2 is going to start dry. Thank you, Blade, for gifting a sub to the channel, mate. Appreciate it, my man. It's gone to Adam Michael. Thank you, mate. Dry in Q2, and then it's going to start to rain halfway through Q3 by the looks of things. And then the race, oh wow, the race starts sodden. The rain starts absolutely flooded with water. So it doesn't matter what happens in qualifying, we will be starting on at least intermediates, if not full wets. Then it will dry up about halfway through the race. Okay. 26.8. Nando's done a 26.3. I'm not sure whether I feel competitive here or not, to be honest. We'll find out in qualifying, obviously, but it's not a bad practice session. It's not a bad practice session, but it wasn't incredible. I think I'm inconsistent here, which is the problem. Biggest rival of those four, I'm going to pick Sergio Perez because he finishes lower down than anyone else.
This team are performing as well as they could do.
They are hard workers at Red Bull, absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
No worries, Claire. Please ask me 2 more questions between now and the end of the weekend so I can get my money in. That would be great. Let's see what resource points we got. Not that we need them. So, weather-wise, as we mentioned, I'm not sure whether I'll have left it in the edit or not. We believe it's going to be dry until the very end of qualifying, as in the very end of Q3, and the race is going to start basically underwater, and then it's going to dry up as we progress through the race, and probably about halfway through the race, we'll be back on dry tyres. So we should be able to save some tyres here in quali, I hope, by being competitive enough to make it to Q3 without having to use a lot of sets. And then from there, hopefully then, it's just a case of seeing what we've got for the race when the race comes around. But I think we should be able to make it to Q3. We should be able to make it to Q3, at least Q2, pretty comfortably. Shortest run to the line, a 25, no, a 26.6. 1.2 seconds off George. Oh, God. So George is quick here. Holy! George is quick. I'm faster in Sector 1, 4 tenths off in Sector 2, and 8 tenths off, nearly 9 tenths off in Sector 3. I'm slow in Sector 3, that's for sure. Jesus. Well, we'll be certainly fast enough to make it through to Q2. Whether we're fast enough to make it through to Q3 remains to be seen at the moment. Remains to be seen. So 10th in Q1 and a long way off the pace. I don't know whether it was a scrappy lap or whether that's my level here in France. I'm not sure. I hope it was a scrappy lap. Quite significantly up, 1.2-ish seconds. Whether it's good enough to get us through or not, don't know. I think that was P11. I think that was P11 only. It was P11, it says on my dash. Ugh. Not a strong circuit for me, Le Castellet. Evidently, P11. Everybody else did go to softs in the end. I guess they were just putting their banker lap in on a set of mediums. Hopefully in race pace it's closer than that. But 1.4 seconds off Lewis and George is sizable. Sizable. I don't know how things are going to look in the race though in the wet. That will level the playing field a little bit, and then we'll just have to wait and see if we could do something with strategy by the time it gets dry. But Checo takes the early advantage in the rivalry, but that's not too much of a problem. The team's actually up to level 20 now with regards its acclaim, which is good. So the race will start in the pissing down rain. Is it going to give me a weather?
Tough luck there. It's not quite.
There you go. So 93% chance of rain at the start. It's going to be sodden, but it will dry up about halfway through, and then it will probably be mediums to softs. Or soft. Probably not soft. Probably mediums to softs, I would imagine, depending on how long the rain lasts. But if it's full wets to start, then wets to inters to softs, perhaps. If not, probably wets to inters to, or inters to mediums to softs. It's going to be a tough one to gauge this. A tough one to gauge. Let's see what the grid looks like, shall we, as we're on our way. That is, yeah, that's full wets. There's no way that isn't full wets, I'm pretty sure.
Here's what today's grid rundown looks like.
It has to be full wets. George gets pole. George gets pole. Lewis didn't get into the 24s in Q3. He did in Q2. Any time penalty or any grid penalties, Perez starts 5th. We're going to start 11th, we believe. Schwartzman and Norris, doesn't look like there's any grid penalties. No, there is not. So we will start P11 then for this Grand Prix. Yikes! Plenty of room for improvement. One of my weaker circuits, but hopefully it means that we should win the Constructors' Championship this year, provided I can keep picking up some points. And maybe, yeah, full wets.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
And maybe we'll get the opportunity. I can't underfuel the car at all. I can't underfuel the car in the slightest. I could put 87.4 laps worth of fuel in the car, and that's it. That's annoying. Hopefully George will win the Drivers' Championship. I'll try my best to assist him in that. What I'll actually do is put an extra turn of wing in for in the wet, and we can take that out when we go to dries. I might do 2 turns. We were 2/10 off Q3, T-Sarks. 2/10. Right. Ugh. Don't know what's going to happen here because I wanted to underfuel the car, but fuel is not going to be a problem whatsoever. Starting P11, let's say, will I finish P... Well, it was P6 or higher last time. I'm going to say P6 or higher this time as well. What can we do at a circuit where I am weaker? Can I pull some decent points out of the bag? Or is this too much for me to be able to do? We shall wait and see what you guys say with the prediction. I'm going to go and have a quick toilet break and then race time.
Getting much lighter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. There should be more grip, but don't expect a dry track.
Okay, so we could be going to inters. We could be going to inters relatively soon. Relatively soon. It's probably not going to be like... It's probably not going to go wets straight to dries. It's wet enough here that it's probably going to ease off wets into inters, then into dry tyres. And we'd have to make a decision as to whether to go to the mediums. probably for the rest of the race, or whether to bang out a soft stint and try and go super quick on the softs and then have an extra stop. I don't know which way this is going to pan out. Your guess is as good as mine, really, as to how this race is going to go.
The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
But with it being the wettest start to a race we've ever had. Oh, dearie me. I quite simply cannot see. There are so many cars here. There's already loads of debris everywhere. Jesus Christ, the visibility is next to none.
Caution.
Yellow flags behind. Oh my god, big crash! Big crash. Lando Norris out of the race. I've got a puncture. Checo's out of the race. I've run over some debris. We have a safety car. What the hell just happened? Thank God for the safety car, otherwise my race would be ruined. What just happened up ahead? So, Checo bins it, by the looks of things. Checo's going to lose it. Oof. Schwartzman just avoids it, but he then spins. Lando has tried to avoid and driven into the spinning Checo and lost his tyre. He's out. Perez is out. Schwartzman's about to hit a barrier and he's out. And then there's chaos behind. Because stuff happens to me as well. And others behind me. There was people spinning behind me too, I think. Well, that was mental. But, I mean, there's a thumbnail. That's mad. That might be the craziest stuff. Well, it was already the wettest race we'd ever had. Or wettest start to a race we've ever had. That might just be the craziest start we've ever had to any race ever. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure that is the maddest start to any Grand Prix we've ever had. And I'll drive offline because I have to.
Your front right tyre has a puncture.
Cheers, Jeff. Kind of aware of that, mate. But already, 2 or 3 front runners out of the race. Norris, Checo, and Schwartzman all out. Latifi's pitting because he's got some damage. We have made it back to the pits. And hopefully, yeah, we're certainly going to make it out before the safety car gets round. But I'm going to have to hope it waits for me, because I'm going to have to get back to the safety car. Otherwise, I'm going to end up a chunk of time behind, even if not a lap, a chunk of time behind. Crawling, absolutely crawling to the pit box. You need to hurry up, mate. Otherwise, the safety car's going to catch up. Boxing for Inters is not the right call.
Go now.
It's far too wet for Inters. Right, now I've got to catch up with the bloody safety car. So we are running 18th and last on lap 2. I'll tell you what, if I'd have hit some more debris there and got another puncture, I'd have been furious. I'd have been absolutely livid. I think Lewis leads the race as well. I tell you what, George Russell cannot hold a lead from the start of a race from pole to save his life. Bottas started 13th and is now 7th. I think the safety car's waiting for me. Yeah, safety car is continuing. Thank God for that. Hey, look, purple sector 2. Lads, we're going to set the fastest lap of the race. Look at us go.
The tyre
couple of...
situation is an interesting one.
Oh, don't. I could have... If I could have gone to Inters...
Right now.
If I could have gone to Inters at the start, I thought with the standing water, it would have certainly been stay out and wet for a little bit longer. If I could have gone to Inters at that stop, I could have inherited the lead. We'll set Inters as our next tyre. But for the Constructors' Championship, that is a McLaren, a Red Bull, and a Mercedes all out of the race already. Although Ferrari are another one that are up there with us. Red Bull aren't really challenging. We are off and racing again. We'll see if everybody can survive this time, shall we? Alright, Nicholas. Jesus, the visibility is still so low. Latifi just ran over some debris there pretty hard. Same engine in the back of the Williams as in the back of ours. I'm going to go aggressive. Oh, he's... Okay, I'm going to dip under then. I went aggressive. He went even more defensive.
Good job. Nice overtake.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm in bloody 17th now. I'm flying, mate. Mazepin is
Check your
slow.
MFD for a new
Oh
strategy
shit, are we going to Inters now?
Copy
Oh, we're
that.
going to Inters now. Fuck. Wants me to box next lap as well. Fuck it. I knew I should have gone to Inters at the pit stop. I thought about it and was like, the rain's probably going to last a lot longer. Everyone's going to Inters now. Ugh.
In this lap.
And
Push
because
now.
George is so far ahead, I still couldn't risk losing loads of time with the double stack. So we're going to
I'll
box
take you
this
right
lap.
now. Pit in next lap.
Oh, but now that the grip is starting to go on the full wets.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
You're right. I could be leading. Instead, I'm losing time on a fucking Haas. I should have asked you guys whether to go to Inters or not. Because you probably would have helped convince me that it was the right decision. They double stacked Alpine, I think. Did they? I'm not sure.
Exit now.
Remind me. Yeah, they did double stack at Alpine.
Only one stop to go. One stop left in this strategy.
Remind me when we come in next, or when we come in for oh god, Mick got right up my ass there. Or was Mazepin? Remind me when we pit for dries that I need to lower my front wing angle. In fact, I'll do it now. Back to 7. So we're now 15th. We could have been first if I'd have pit for Inters when I had the puncture. That was a gift in disguise and we didn't recognise it. Thought the rain was going to be a lot harder for longer. Still got a hell of a lot of work to do in the remainder of this Grand Prix. We've got the inside of at least one of these two here. Callum Ilott pushing him wide. Former teammate, of course. Try and get past Giovinazzi as quickly as possible as well.
10 minutes.
Is he going to go defensive or not? No, but it's a fast corner. It's a fast first turn, so I'm not going to try and sweep through. I've got a run on him here though. Should have the inside line for this right-hander, and that should be us through against Giovinazzi. And is P13. Time to chase after Lance Stroll, although he's 4 seconds down the road. Check for damage. What for? What? Why would I have damage? A little bit on the front left. Oh, and there's chunks missing too. There's chunks out the front wing there. I thought I didn't quite touch the back of Giovinazzi. I must have done. Well, to be fair, I did a 40.7, so I'm not that far off them pace-wise. Lewis did a 40.6. My lap was only a tenth slower than Lewis Hamilton's. Hi, Lance. Thank you, Lance. Bye, Lance. So, with regards pit strategy, when it dries up, it's probably going to be either medium softs or soft mediums. Dive down the inside of Sonoda here. he did turn in on me a bit, but I don't know whether that was perhaps because it was a bit of an ambitious move. I feel like there was space there to go for a gap. And I am alongside. He's turned into me. Whose fault is that for the collision? He's just wheel to wheel. I don't know whether I did a little bit of damage to his front wing there. I did, just a little bit. Probably did a little bit more to mine. But, I mean, there's room there. I think medium softs... No, hards isn't the call. I just can't... I don't think that hards is ever the call. They are 2 seconds a lap slower than the softs. 2 seconds a lap slower. Could try and take a set of mediums to the end, but I'd probably be so slow that it's worth just the extra pit stop. Like, yes, it's a slow pit lane, but you do miss out that final turn. Oh, I nearly lost it there. That was close. I nearly completely binned it, trying to go around the outside of Gasly. Definitely need to give that position back. Just didn't get it done. I tried, but I just couldn't get it done. The game was actually going to let me hold on to that position there. Definitely can't do that. Just tried to time it so I broke a little bit later than him, but he pushed the braking zone so much himself that by the time I reacted, Lewis is starting to pull away from George now. Here into turn 1 though. Didn't think we'd get any overtaking moves done into turn 1, but Pierre into turn 1. We're into the points. Quite a hell of a run off by New Zhou here. Off that left-hander. We're going to take P9. He's going to try and hang it out, but he's not going to have any chance. We'll park it on the apex so we can't get past, and then try and get after Ocon and thingy. There's a massive gap up to the Ferrari. Huge gap to that front gaggle that I will do very well in... Why am I doing that? I will do very well indeed to try and close down. I don't think we'll be finishing any higher than P7 here, barring any more drama. But you never know. A safety car could come out again, or we could show remarkable speed on the softs, on the dry tyres, which I doubt, but still. It's a hell of a gap to try and close.
Tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now.
Still struggling to get into the top 6. The game is more difficult this year. Try and force Esteban offline if I can, then nip underneath him here maybe, get a switch back. Use a bit of the battery. That was really nicely done. Sorry, Esteban. 28 seconds the gap. 28 seconds the gap to Carlos Sainz. Fucking hell. I'm going to need a safety car, I think, if I'm to finish any higher than P7. That or a worldie of a pit strategy. Nobody's in the pits for dries yet. The best bet, my best hope would be that the call to pit for dry tyres comes between when that leading group have gone past the pit entry and when we get there. That's my best bet. I'm going to set soft as my next tyre.
Catching the car ahead by around 0.5 a lap.
I'll set my next tyre to soft. And we will go for it. But we're going to have to get lucky with a pit strategy. I think we might be able to. The gap is big enough for there to have that potential scenario play out, but we're going to have to get lucky. We got lucky in Canada. We've already gotten kind of lucky here with the accident that saw so many people out, but then we got unlucky with a puncture and unlucky with the tyre decision. Trying to hold Bottas off. Just managed to get that done
Nice
legally-ish.
move. Good job.
No, 33 laps is too many on the medium. It will only do comfortably about 25.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Understood. Copy
It
that.
wants me to pit lap 18. I'm not going to pit. It wants me to go soft, soft, soft and pit lap 18. I'm going to pit now. I'm going to box
Right,
this
coming
lap.
At the end of this lap.
Oh, God. A bit carried away there. As is Esteban Ocon. That's annoying. And I'm having a... Now, I am having a wing change too, so I will lose these positions again. Now, do I go soft, soft, soft? Or do I go soft, medium? I don't know. I don't know whether to go soft, soft, soft or soft, medium. That's where you guys will come in.
Release, release.
So I've lost all the positions I previously gained, but hopefully we should be able to get them back. I reckon soft medium might be the ploy, you know.
In the pits.
Yellow flag, someone spun somewhere. Bottas is off. Oh, Bottas's engine has gone, that's what it's for. Bottas's engine has gone. So Valtteri survives the madness, and then his engine goes bang. Bottas out of the session, that happened right in front of us. Now with our wing change, etc., I don't know as actually we've gained any time on George and that lot. I'll stretch this soft set as far as I possibly can. We'll go to mediums and then try and finish the race on them. Fastest lap of the race so far, but obviously that will probably change soon when those front-running cars get their first full lap in. I'm quite close enough for DRS yet on these two. Ocon with a 1:31.3 as we do a 1:29.6.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
But now Lewis will go and beat that in a moment, so don't worry. We are going to be within DRS range now, though. You'd have thought the stewards would have come and collected all that debris from that first crash, but they've just left it there, haven't they? Lewis is about to come around the final turn, so he'll set the fastest lap now. Guan Yu Zhou's gone very defensive there. He slowed him and Gasly up, so much so that I've actually taken Pierre Gasly there. Thank you, Guan Yu Zhou. Lewis sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:29.2. To get out the throttle a little bit there to avoid Guan Yu Zhou. Could have tried to dive up the inside there, but I didn't want to risk it. Can do here, though. Hello, friend. Bye-bye. That's P8. Let's go and get Esteban Ocon. Yeah. Definitely going to need another safety car for we to make it past P7, I think. Oh, the power of the DRS down that straight is so strong.
Check your MFD for a new strategy.
Probably going to recommend soft medium. Yeah, it is. Medium's on 32. That's what we can do. So now the game has recognised that the strategy that we wanted to do ourselves, we decided we were going to do, that is now genuinely our fastest option to the end. And that's even been recognised by the team now. So soft medium we will do. Medium we will switch to on lap 32. And that will be our route to the end. Hello, Esteban. I am much faster than you here, pal, with DRS. I didn't want to risk getting in an accident at turn 1, to be honest. Fucking yum. DRS is so powerful here. Past and back onto the racing line before the braking zone. Lolly jubbly. Thank you, Esteban. Goodbye. Right, now then, we pray that the one more stop strategy works over other drivers' 2 more stops. Or that there's another safety car. Because there is certainly more than a pit stop between ourselves and Ricardo, and it's probably borderline between ourselves and Sainz. And by the time we get to the pit stop, Sainz will probably be more than a stop ahead of us as well. So as things stand, Leipzig's goal counted, there you go. As things stand, we are where we'll finish.
The car ahead is 27.1 seconds.
So for the YouTube video, there might not be much left. But hopefully, this video is a lot longer than it is right now. So, or a lot longer than where you've gotten to so far, meaning that something else has happened. Future me will know, but current me doesn't. The others in front of us, I imagine, will be pitting
Our gap to the car
relatively
in
soon.
front is
If they're going
28.6
soft,
seconds.
soft, like we previously were expected to do. Our last pit strategy, or the original pit strategy we went to, the soft, saw us pitting this lap. Okay, so those in front are pitting now. Presumably,
George is coming in for his stop.
to go soft continually for the rest of the race. Whereas we're pitting once more for a set of mediums, and that will be us done. It's the quickest way for us to get to the end of the race, but I still don't think it's going to be quick enough to see us catch anyone else in front of us without the help of another safety car. We'll see Carlos Sainz pit this lap, 31 I think, and then actually I think Sainz now leads the race. Oh no, Verstappen leads the race from Carlos Sainz. I think Sainz will pit this lap, as will Max, and we'll pit lap 32 after them both. I could extend a bit, but there's no point. We've already extended a little bit. And the medium tyres will certainly comfortably do 21 laps or so. I think I'd rather just lose as little time as possible. In fact, those behind us might be going to mediums as well, actually. They are. Ocon has gone to mediums. You imagine Ilott and Gasly will do the same. So they're trying the same strategy as us. Only they have less of a chance of catching anyone. Oh no, Callum Ilott's come out on softs. Okay, so mixed strategies behind us. But everybody in front is on that soft run. We're going soft medium, and we will box this
Okay,
lap
we can take you this lap.
for our set of mediums to take us hopefully to the end of the Grand Prix. That's the plan. Unless there's a safety car, in which case that plan will change. Says as he's just driven past the pits because he was concentrating too hard on trying to close Mazepin. So I'll pit next lap, shall I? Idiot. So stop 2 for a set of mediums to take us to the end of the Grand Prix, unless there's a safety car. Gap in front is going to grow and grow and grow, but everybody in front of us does have another pit stop to make. Everybody in front of us does have another pit stop to make.
Complete, go now.
Slowish stop at 2.9 seconds. The gap to Carlos Sainz is now 30 plus seconds. So we're now going to the end on these. And praying for a safety car at some point. After lap 42-ish. We got a puncture lap 1. If we'd have stopped for inters on lap 1, we'd have been leading the race. Probably. Because by the time the safety car came in, we were all on inters by lap 6. So I'd have been leading the race. Alternatively, if we hadn't have gotten a puncture, when all of that shit went off, we'd have been right with the front 4 or 5. We were unlucky, then just didn't quite make the right pit call. But to be fair, they had said Carlos Sainz out there. Okay, there's some fun. There's some luck.
Is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Carlos Sainz now out of the race. So that's P6 for us.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag up above. He's had terminal down. So now, with regards the constructors title, that is now 1 Ferrari, 1 Mercedes, 1 Red Bull, and 1 McLaren, all retired from the Grand Prix. We will score, provided George keeps going.
Incident in the next part of the track.
There he is to the left. Provided we keep going. Provided we keep going. And George Russell keeps going. We'll take a really strong advantage in the... Really strong advantage in the Constructors' Championship. But for those of you that bet against me in the prediction, where we said P6 or higher, we've just been gifted P6. Sorry, lads. You've just gifted everybody else that voted yes, your bits. Soz, lads. Unless something crazy happens. If something crazy happens and we end up dropping down the order, then it could still go the other way. Carlos Sainz retired. I don't think it was an engine failure. I think it was just a mechanical failure. It will just say mechanical failure on the thing. But Bottas's engine blew up. I think Sainz just had... because they didn't phrase it that way. He just said, we think their problem is terminal, rather than just saying that they retired. So I think there might have been like a component fail for Carlos Sainz, or like a pneumatic or hydraulic problem, which is why he retired. So I'd expect to see Carlos Sainz take grid penalties in Austria. At the minute, despite having the car underneath him, George doesn't appear to be able to maximise the potential of it, because even though he's got like a 95 overall, it's just not quite got the racecraft at the minute. Obviously I don't either, which doesn't help. But so what will he get for fourth? 12 points, and I'll get 8 points. We'll get 20 points. So actually Mercedes, if Lewis wins, Mercedes will close the gap on us. We'll extend on Red Bull, because they'll get 18. We'll extend on Red Bull, we'll extend on Ferrari, but Mercedes will actually close the gap if Lewis wins this race. I'd expect to see those front runners in again soon. Maybe lap 44, 45, maybe 43, maybe 43. In fact, the Mercedes is in now, literally as I say that. The Mercedes and the Red Bull, Max and Lewis both pit. As does Ricciardo in his McLaren. So Russell is now going to be up to P2 for the time being, but then obviously is going to pit and go back down to P4 again. Callum Ilott pits from behind us. So now Esteban Ocon will retake P7. Split strategies on the two Alpines, as has been the case with the two Chesnoid racing cars. George in the pits, along with the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Hopefully he can get the jump on him in the pit lane. That would be great. If the boys could pull out a banging stop, and or if the Williams or AlphaTauri gets in the way and leads to a car getting held. No, it doesn't look like it. George back to P4. That's annoying. At least he's out ahead of Ricciardo though. Safe from the undercut, but still out P4. Yep, Ted Kravitz would certainly be saying movement in the Chesnoid Racing Garage. We think they're going to go for the fastest lap, as driver Chris Wood has a free pit stop behind him. Back to Esteban Ocon, try and take the constructors' point away from Mercedes. Wow, 1.9 second stop's really good. Take the constructors' point away from Mercedes, and also away from Lewis Hamilton to simultaneously help the team in the Constructors' fight and teammate George Russell in the Drivers' Championship as well. We'll go for the fastest lap on lap 52. Go for the shortest run to the line. And fastest lap of the race. There we go. 127.3. We do get it. Even though none of the sectors were purple, they were all personal bests. And as such, we put together the best complete lap. As Max Verstappen does win the race. Max has taken Lewis in the last 2 laps. Has to have been within the last 2 laps to win the Grand Prix. That's huge for George as well. So as we take
3 laps of fuel remaining.
As we take the fastest lap point away from Lewis, he also loses the lead of the Grand Prix. So he doesn't get 26 points, he gets only 18. Which means we as a team, as George finishes 3rd and gets 15 points, I'm going to finish 6th and get 9 because of my fastest lap point. We're actually going to score 24 and extend our Constructors' Championship lead over everybody, rather than it having be closed a little bit by Mercedes with Lewis winning the Grand Prix. Now Lewis will still extend his gap over George in the drivers' standings, but for the Constructors, which I guess for my team is more important than an individual driver's standing, or not an individual drivers' championship, for the Constructors, we will pull away a little bit.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Park Fermé.
We were just really unlucky in that race. I think we could have challenged for a podium. Had things gone our way. If we hadn't have picked up the puncture lap 1, we would have been competitive with the front group throughout all stints. If I'd gone to inters after that puncture rather than back onto another set of wets, we could well have been leading the Grand Prix after the safety car. It just didn't quite go our way. In Canada it did, and we got the victory. Here it didn't quite go for us, and we've come away with a P6. George on the podium though, which is great. Max grabbing the win is big for his driver's title hopes, as the rain smacks down again here in France. We get driver of the day though, and the fastest lap by a couple of tenths. And in the standings, Lewis is now 16 points clear of George, who's now above Charles Leclerc. He overtook him on track today for a P3, not a P4, and as such has been able to leapfrog Charles Leclerc in the driver's standings. Well done, George. We're 6th still, 3 points behind Daniel Ricciardo. 2 points now ahead of Max Verstappen, who's closed the gap with his win, and Carlos Sainz is now 8th on 49. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes leapfrog Ferrari with Lewis Hamilton's victory here. We extend our gap at the top of the Constructors' Championship though, however, to 16 points. So 16 the gap in the drivers, 16 the gap in the Constructors, then 17 from Mercedes, 19 from Ferrari. But all 3 of those, in fact all 4 of the chasing Constructors, Red Bull a long way behind, but all 4 of those chasing Constructors had a DNF in that race after the ridiculous start to the Grand Prix. Ah yes, more questions. We will definitely get more money then, provided she asks more than one. But Aston Martin, no comments. We're just focusing on ourselves.
Will you be celebrating with them tonight?
Of course. Well, everybody deserves it, but considering we're the only place we can develop now is the durability department, we will praise them.
Well, that's everything.
And 2 questions asked, which means 4 total, which means we should get the money from our sponsors too, I hope. We do get the jump on Checo, as he obviously DNF'd, so we get all of those. Acclaim-wise, improvements everywhere. Oh, we don't actually have the 4-question thing anymore, but we were able to achieve all of them nonetheless. We get a podium through George, which was important. And after this is now the Austrian Grand Prix, where we historically have done very well. Now I'm going to improve George's ability with weight training here, pace up to and focus. I currently cannot afford his his contract renewal, though. We need a new sponsor as well. His contract is 9.32 million. His focus is quite low. 9.32 million. We currently have 8.2 million in the bank. But let's redo this sponsor then as we get a raid from Lucas I can't talk. Lucas Blakely, thank you very much for the raid, my guy. 55, welcome in, lads. We're just renewing a sponsorship after our French Grand Prix. Hope you're streaming well, Lucas. How did you get on? No worries, man. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, too. Thanks for the follow, Jasper. Right, so, new sponsor. Do we go with what we've had previously? I don't know. TriStar, 33 constructors points during a race weekend is a lot to ask. Fastest lap in any session. We did do that in the last Grand Prix, but I'm not sure. We could go with Slingshot, achieve a podium finish, but I don't know as I'd get a podium finish every race. We could get one as a team, but I believe that's what the Dynamics one is. Oh, no, that's 20 constructors points. And Zanzer was, yeah, achieve at least one podium within the team. That's what we did there. So, Avolo, beat your rival. I could do that one. I'm pretty confident of beating Sergio Perez at every Grand Prix. Stream was good. Good. Glad to hear it, my man. Pretty sure we could beat Sergio Perez at every Grand Prix. Pole position we haven't got, because we haven't got the pacing quality. I think Avolo's going to be the one, isn't it? Although 20 Constructors Championship points during a race weekend would pay out more. And I'm pretty sure we'd get 20 Constructors Championship points, wouldn't we? Although, to be fair, with a P3 and a P6, we only got just 20 this Grand Prix weekend. It's between AII and Avolo, I think. Between AII and Avolo. Chat, what are we saying? Avolo for beat your rival during a race, that being Sergio Perez, or AII, 20 Constructors Championship points during a race weekend. If George finishes P1 or 2, which he certainly should be doing, chasing Lewis, then all I would need to do is finish 8th or higher. I think AII. Avolo in Greek means awkward, does it? Lol. Yeah, we're going to go AII then. 20 Constructors points per race day weekend. We'll go and add those emotes. Add those to the car. Where would it go? On the edge of the car there. AII, yeah, there you go. That looks quite good there, doesn't it? Zanzer there and there. Go AII there. It's Novus that we've lost as the sponsor, isn't it? Go AII there. There you go. New ones on the car. Sponsor decals. I don't know what the I don't know what the little yellow thing is for, because literally there's nothing I can do with sponsor decals, so that confuses me. Regardless, let's advance towards the...
For us, please?
I'll go for second driver experience plus 7. We'll try and get as much out of George as we possibly can. Thank you for the follow, Irvin and Mr. Legenda. Welcome to the channel, mate. Weight training up 2. What's the weather going to be like for Austria? That is what we're curious about. Actually, let's spend some resource points on durability, shall we? So we could do that one. We could do that one. And I can't afford that one. But we're getting there. We're getting there with regards to durability. There's plenty to be done, and we do need to improve the spec. Oh, no, we have now improved the spec. Need to improve the build time and quality control, actually. But we really don't need to at the moment. So let's just see what the weather's going to be like in Austria. I'll pay out the prediction. Don't worry, Jahid. We never forget. You guys don't need to keep reminding me in the comments. So, mixed conditions in qualifying, but a dry race. Oh, very mixed conditions in qualifying. Dry quali to start, but a wet end to qualifying. So presumably it will get damp in Q2, meaning that still the top 10 will probably start the race on those worn tyres, unless it rains so much so before Q2 that we have to go out on intermediate tyres, meaning everybody will start the race on a brand new set of tyres, which will throw strategy into the mix a little bit less so. We shall have to wait and see. But for the sake of the YouTube video, that's all for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more. That Austrian Grand Prix is coming tonight on stream as you see this, or tomorrow morning on the YouTube channel. So make sure you stay around. Click that notification bell as well to ensure you don't miss out on it. But for now, that's all for this YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys next time.